everyone, it is Tammy and welcome to podcast number 4 of my knitting world, and I am excited that you're here. I live in Indiana, which is in the Midwest of the United States, and I have been knitting for about 2 years, and I love it. I have really caught the knitting bug this year, well, the last 6 months I guess. And I really have to do it every day. It's like a lifestyle for me now that I enjoy it so very much. And I thought that I would start this podcast again. I do have a YouTube channel that, this is on. So I have lots of videos. I like to craft. I like to cook. I dabble in lots of different things, and I share all of that with you guys. But knitting has become such a lifestyle for me that I wanted to restart my knitting podcast. So that's what this one is. So today this conversation will be all about the knits. I have not learned how to crochet, but I would love to someday. My mom crocheted, and I wish that I had taken her up on her offer to teach me before she passed away, because that would have been fabulous. But she passed away when I was like 28, but when I was young is when she was asking me to teach me, like, I don't know, 12, 14, and at that time I didn't think that that was anything that I wanted to do, ever. That was for old people, and I was not old at all, apparently. I don't know what I was thinking, but you know, whatever you think when you're 12, 14, whatever. But I do have my coffee and my cute little mug. I know I've showed you this before, but I love this mug. So I will be sipping on this. It is probably, I don't even know what time it is, about 6 o'clock in the morning. I wake up very early most days, and it is Sunday, March 1st. Happy March. I don't know if it's going to be in like a lion and out like a lamb yet. My guess was that it was going to be in like a lion, because based on, well, we do have snow on the ground still, which is very, I don't know that it's very unusual, but it's not the norm. It's less than normal for where I am. So I don't know. I don't know if you'd consider that a lion. I think I'm going to. That way I can say that it will leave like a lamb. And it's pretty cold still, which is, again, unusual. Before the next podcast, I will have had another birthday, and I can say that usually, like when I was younger, I remember being able to wear shorts on my birthday, or and it was kind of up in the air. Or if I'd get a bike, I could certainly ride my bike outside. I'm not saying that I could always wear shorts, but I remember there being some days, especially when I got older and wanted clothes for my birthday, that I would be able to get like clothes that I could wear on spring break, let's say, or something like that, and be able to wear them on my birthday. So it is quite cold this year as far as I'm concerned. My very unprofessional and biased gauge of the weather. And why do a lot of us start with the weather? It's so weird. I guess in like a lion out like a lamb is what made me think of that, but that is so funny. A lot of people give like weather updates, but I guess it's a big deal. It especially when it comes to knitting, because I know that I prefer to knit when it's chilly out, and I think that most people do. Well, let me just start with the finished objects, because I have the most beautiful sweater that I can even imagine that I have finished on. This is the Whitmoor. Oh my gosh, look at how beautiful this is. It is from the little tailoress. You can find it on Ravelry under Whitmoor, and her name is Amy Lowden, and she is just the cutest little thing. And she was kind enough to let me test this pattern. So I am going to stand up, if I can find a good spot for you guys, and show you this sweater. I know the lighting is bad, but remember, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, or you know what, 6 o'clock, 6:19. So it is just beautiful. I did the, is it called bucket sleeves, where it's the same and then you all of a sudden go zoop and do that. I held fingering and mohair together, and my yarn choice was amazing. I love this yarn choice, and I will tell you about that here in just a minute too. Oh my gosh, it is just gorgeous. And that yoke goes all the way around. I have gotten a bunch of compliments every time I wear this, and I have to say that I wear this probably, I've had it finished for about a week. Sorry, I dropped my notes. And I have worn it, this is my third time having it on, and I love it. I dropped my notes. Excuse me. So I'm very, 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 very thrilled with this. I would actually make it again. I mean, I like it that much. And I will say that by the time I got to the end of doing the, just the knit, 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 I was ready to be done. I did not change the pattern other than I added about 4 inches to the bottom, just because I have a longer torso and I like to have my sweaters just a little longer, and I was nervous that it would be too cropped. This is the first sweater that I've ever made for myself. I'm not a small woman, so I wanted to make sure it fit. The other thing that I'm not sure about is I've seen some others and it doesn't seem like it fits them the same way here. Maybe I should have started off with a little smaller size, because my body is kind of funny shaped. I'm not as big up here as I am in my belly area, so I have kind of the A-shaped body. I don't know if that's called a pear-shaped. My rump isn't, I mean, it's not small, but it's not as big, so I don't know. I'm still not sure. I'm still learning how to make sweaters that fit me best, but I like it. I don't have any problem with this, but I would certainly think that I would need something underneath this. And I have worn it with black. I have worn it with white. I think it would be pretty with navy. And it doesn't have to be a turtleneck, but it's cold and I love turtlenecks, so I don't have any problem wearing turtlenecks. I know some people get turned off by the Teenage Mutant Ninja turtlenecks, but I love them. And I call them that because when my son was little, the only way I could get him to wear turtlenecks was he one time just said, "Is this a Teenage Mutant Ninja turtleneck or something?" And I was like, "Yes, it is." So we went with that. And so for years I would say, "You have to wear your Teenage Mutant Ninja turtleneck." And it worked. So, hey, whatever works. So I still think it's cute, and I have my Teenage Mutant Ninja turtleneck on. But I am in love with this sweater. And it is my finished object. I just cannot even. I mean, honestly, it's like, holy cow, I made this. I did it. I finished it on February 22nd, so 2/22/2020. And like I said, it was Amy Lowden. And I ended up using 3.5 skeins each of the yarn that I used. And I used classic sock held with fantasy fluff. So I used a 75% merino, 25% nylon base. And this is that. And it was in the colorway Opera Dancer's Daughter by a company called Yarnberry. And you might know her from Meanwhile at the Castle. It's a podcast that she does with her sister. Her name is Emily, Queen Emily. And she is really sweet inside and out. And she does beautiful work. This yarn is just amazing. So it has a little bit of speckling, which just makes it really cool, I think, when in the finished project. But oh my gosh, it's so cute. So I used this, and then I held it with her mohair, and this is called Fantasy Fluff. It's 72% kid mohair and 28% silk, and it is also in the Opera Dancer's Daughter colorway. So I held a strand of both of those together to come up with this fiber, and it is just amazingly soft and beautiful and has a wonderful halo to it. And I seriously have gotten compliments. I've been to Starbucks twice in it, both times the barista. One time I went to a Barnes & Noble that had a Starbucks inside, and I sat down and had some coffee, and I was knitting there, and I got a compliment from the barista there, and then he came over and talked to me and said that he also knits, and I asked him if he'd heard of Ravelry, and he said yes, and oh, it was just so sweet. So he was really, really cool. He's afraid to knit a sweater, but I tried to tell him that it's not as difficult. Just trust the pattern. I told him that my advice to a sweater maker, a new sweater maker, just because I'm a new sweater maker, would be to go with a pattern that has been tried and true. I didn't take my own advice on this particular sweater, but I have made a couple sweaters for my daughter. So go with a sweater that has been tried and true and trust the pattern. So, you know, just go for it if you want to do it. In worst case scenario, it's yarn. You can tear it out and redo it if you want to. It's just yarn. So, and I say just with air quotes kind of because we all know it's not just yarn, but it is just yarn. Kind of like when you paint a room, it's only paint. So, you know, it's beautiful, wonderful, luxurious fiber, but, oh, and maybe I should have told him, don't use mohair for your first project because it would be really hard to go back, but I didn't tell him that. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with this. I can, of course, use it for, I don't know if I have enough here for shorties or not. I think I have 50 grams left. I don't know how to figure all that out yet, but I did buy a little scale. So this is something that I purchased, and I just got it on Amazon. And I got it because I'm test knitting things, and some people want to know exactly how much yarn you used, which is totally understandable. So I thought, ooh, I'll just get one of these. So yes, I have 50 grams left, 49.59 grams of this left. So I'm not exactly sure what I can do with 50 grams yet, but there's that. And then I had a little more than half of this left, and I am going to, I'll tell you how much I have of that. 27 grams of this left. So I am going to use this, and I'm going to combine it with this yarn from Toad Hollow. It is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. It's one of the 5-star reads collections that they do. So this is based on that book, which, by the way, I read because of them, and it is amazing. This is one of my favorite books that I have read in the last couple of years. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. Very good book. But anyway, they did this colorway, which I think is gorgeous. It has hints of like green, kind of turquoise, and then brown, and it's picking it up pretty well, even with the lighting that's in here. Let me see if I can help this or not. Yeah, I think that helped a little bit. So their website is Toad Hollow NJ. Whoops. And that is their little logo, which I think is adorable. And they are two sisters, and they are the Crafty Toads, and they are wonderful. And Emily, that I was just talking about, that dyed the yarn for this sweater, and she does her podcast with her sister. Emily is going to be doing a hat that she designed, and she asked for test knitters. So I, of course, said I would love to test knit her hat. And her hat required a fingering weight and an alpaca or a mohair. So I asked her if it would be okay if I used her mohair, and she of course said that that would be fine, because I was afraid that since I'm kind of new at testing, well, I am new at testing, but I enjoy it very, very much, and I'll talk about that after a little bit. But I thought I didn't want to switch from the pattern too much, because she had originally said it was alpaca that you needed, and this is mohair, so I wanted to make sure that it was okay that I used that, and she said absolutely. So I'm going to use the leftover mohair from this sweater, and I'm going to combine it with this, and I think that will make a lovely fiber. And it's going to be a hat. And I don't have a picture or anything of it yet to show you, and I haven't obviously cast it on yet. I haven't even gotten the pattern yet, but I know that it's coming. She was almost ready for test knitters, and of course I'm overzealous. I'll do it, because I'm super excited about it. So there is that, and I'm going to be doing that as well. So that is just, I think, really pretty, and I got an empty project bag to put it in. So I'm going to put that in here. Soup. Now I have some project bags that I had last time, and I did not empty them, haven't done anything with them. So I'm not going to go over any of the projects that I had queued up or anything that I was ready to knit. The only things that I'm going to show you as whips are things that I've actually started and have made some progress on. For example, Kaity's shawl, I know that I told you guys about that, but I haven't done anything with it since, because I have been working on my sweaters, my test knits, and I have been loving it, but that's what I'm working on right now, mostly. Actually, not even mostly. That's what I've been working on. I should just end that with a period, because that is the end of it. That's what I've been working on, and I've been loving every minute of it. That should be a song, shouldn't it? Loving every minute of it. I know it is a song. So one thing I wanted to talk about was my cows, and I guess that's a good kind of place because I have signed up to be a test knitter for quite a few things. I am test knitting this sweater. I'm a test knitter for another sweater, and another sweater, and a tunic for a child, and I signed up for that hat. Is that all the test knitting that I'm doing? Yes. And I have to say that I really enjoy being a test knitter. I feel like it gets me out there and talking to some people, which I am really enjoying. And then I also think that it gives me a deadline and something to shoot for and to work on to get done. And I enjoy that pressure. And I know that I put some of the pressure on myself, but you know, I want to do a good job for these designers that have done such a brilliant job designing whatever. I mean, this is just amazing. Have I told you that before, that I love this so much? So it's just remarkable. So I enjoy being a test knitter, and I will definitely sign up for more test knits. And it's even okay with me if I have more than one on the needles. I think that actually helps me. Although I did notice that when I get close to finishing something, I will kind of work on that exclusively. Sorry, I had something in my mouth. And it must have been mohair. But it's fun to me. I really, really have been enjoying test knitting, and I like having a deadline, and I like knowing that this is due and that I'm helping this person out. I don't know, just the whole thing has been a wonderful experience for me. So I'm going to continue that for as long as it makes me excited. So I'm excited about that. And I have been enjoying listening to other podcasters. So here's a question for you guys. If you could tell me who your favorite podcasters are and put them in the comments below, I would greatly appreciate it. I can tell you who some of my favorites are, and I almost hate to do that because I'm afraid that I will leave somebody out, but let me tell you who I have been enjoying, at least as of late. That doesn't mean that if you didn't make this list that you're not on my list. It just means that right now you're not on the top of my head because, you know, things ebb and flow. And I know that, you know, sometimes there are people that I watch and watch and watch, and then I don't watch them for a while, and then I catch back up, and that's fun for me too. It's kind of like binge watching, you know, and it's kind of like sitting around and knitting with friends. And I have really been enjoying that because I don't have any friends that knit or do anything like this in the same way. Lisa is very crafty. She is one of my dear, dear friends, and she lives very close, but she is very busy, and it's hard to find time to just sit and work on yarn together. She does plastic canvas, so we could sit and watch TV and chat and do that together, and we have, but not as often as I would like, and it's just not as convenient as turning on the TV and having my friends there. So meanwhile at the castle, I know I mentioned them. I enjoy their podcast very much. The Cozy Up Knits, they are 4 sisters who live in Grand Prairie, Canada. I don't know, somewhere up in northern Canada. They are awesome. I enjoy them very much. The Grocery Girls, who everybody has heard of, I am sure. Those two are just amazing, and they always make me laugh. The Crafty Toads, of course, those sisters, they always bring a smile to my face as well. The Little Tailoress, she has a nice podcast, and she is amazingly adorable, and she has a really cute accent, and she's the one who designed this, and oh my gosh, she's just gorgeous and so pretty and just so fun to watch. And she has a beautiful baby boy. Oh, he's not a baby anymore, I guess, but a toddler, and he is just adorable too. So I highly recommend her. Who else comes to mind? That's really all that's coming to mind right now, because that is who I have been watching right now. But I'm sure that there are many others that I have watched, and I'm sure there are many others that I haven't even found yet. So if there's any that you guys watch and love, let me know, because I would love to at least try them out and see if they were a fit for me. Oh, Kaity Jack's Knits. Oh my gosh. Those two. I love those two too. And I recently found those guys from someone else. I don't even remember who that was from. But, I mean, that's the way this knitting world kind of works. You hear of somebody from somebody else, and then, you know, it just kind of leads you down a path, and then you find all these new people and new things, and it's just so much fun. So, yeah, that's I enjoy that very much. And Instagram is also a great way to kind of get involved and to find test knits and stuff like that. So, pardon me for just a minute. Say what? What? What do I have on now? Am I saying that I finished 2 sweaters since the last time I talked to you? Holy cow! It's true. So speaking of test knits, I was a test knitter for Nancy Ricci, who made this beautiful sweater. It is called A Lazy Sunday State of Mind. It is already available on Ravelry, but she needed some plus-size testers. And I responded to her and said I would love to test knit this. This has not been blocked. It is hot off the needles. So hers doesn't roll like this, so I'm assuming that it will block out and it won't roll so much anyway. But it is a boxy sweater. Kind of has a, you know, if I raised my hand, it would certainly, but let me try to put this down just a little bit so you can see the bottom. I did not change anything about the pattern. I did the sleeves at, I think, 8 inches, maybe 9 inches of, and I will have all of that on Ravelry. It's not on there yet because this is literally hot off the presses. And it is just a beautiful sweater. It is made with Malabrigo Mecca, and this is in the colorway Polar Morn. And I love Malabrigo. Love it, love it, love it. I love that it is easy to knit, I love that it is super soft and cozy. I love the way that it is tonal and kind of changes colors. I did not do the thing where you switch skeins, or I don't know, I haven't gotten there yet, like the vertex or something they call it, where you make sure that you don't get, with hand-dyed yarn, you don't get the same, like, obvious patterning between skeins. I did not do that. But I love it. I'm trying to think if there's, so this yarn is superwash merino wool, 130 yards. I used almost 8. Here's one that I need to actually weigh. Almost 8 grams, or 8 skeins. This is what I have left of my 8 skeins. Not much. So let's see how much this is. I have 16 grams left. I need to write that down. 16 grams left. And I should actually put it in my book. I have been using my book very much. I love it. I've shown you this before. 8 skeins total. And then I'll put 16 grams left. So I do write some notes on some of the things that I do. And this was a test knit, like I said. The Lazy Sunday State of Mind. It is a super fast knit. I knit this sweater in a week. Started last Saturday, finished this Saturday. I mean, seriously. I never. And I never would have thought that I would have been done so quickly. And it actually isn't due until, she wanted it done by the first week of April. And so in my head, I said that it was due the end of March so that I would have it done. But this was one of those things that every time I went to go knit, this is what I wanted to pick up. It was super simple. It's a raglan style. It has really neat shoulders where you do this and see how it like just continues in the same direction. It has like a little stripe of that, and then the other ones start going the other way, and then the sleeve of course goes this way too, but it's just super cute. So this is the stripe down here, and then these go this way and those go that way. So it's just, there's no distinction between the front and the back. So I don't know if I would do that differently maybe next time. Right now, I don't think that there's anything that I would do differently. I feel like there was one thing that I did. Oh, in her pattern, she has where you can do a decrease at the waist, or you can continue it straight and do boxy. I continued it straight and did boxy. I might, next time I make this, and I have a feeling I will be making this again, I might, because there is a lot of ease here. I mean, I can put it on both sides. So I don't know. And I did the size 2X. And it was spot on, I would say. I absolutely love it. Nancy did a wonderful job. This is the first pattern of hers that I've ever done. And I already would say any test knit that she has, I would sign up for, because if it's based on this, and you know, you can't, just because she designed this doesn't mean that all of her designs are as straight lined and simple, but she kind of said that that's what she likes. So that being said, I would certainly, please pick me, test knit anything that she has, because I absolutely love it. So I had 2 finished objects, both of them sweaters this time. Mic drop, done. Seriously. Holy cow. I don't know if it's right to say that you're proud of yourself, but I can say that I am proud of myself. Holy cow. Not only the Whitmoor sweater, which is so beautifully lace, and these are very different sweaters. I like them both a lot. That one is way fancier, way, dare I even say, prettier. And this one is more casual, more comfy, cozy, although the other one feels like a hug. It feels like you're wrapped in a hug. I mean, and they're both extremely easy to wear. So it's not like, I don't know, they're both very, very easy to wear, very, very comfortable. I would love this to be a cardigan because I love myself some cardigans. Love, love, love them. That's usually my MO. I don't know why I have been signing up to do like pullovers because that's not something I usually like. But I have liked these, so I don't know. Maybe I am changing. I don't know, but I like it. Okay, so those are my finished objects. Let's go ahead and start talking about my whips, which are my works in progress. So these are called Faux. They are my finished objects. And my whips, I haven't made any progress on Alex's socks. I don't know where I was the last time with this. And I'm almost ashamed to tell you that I don't think that I've knit on it at all. And I think that I talked about this last time. I'm not sure. This is the Gianluca, and it is a pattern that I am testing from Isabell Kraemer. And this is it. It is a beautiful pattern. But like I said, sometimes I just feel like knitting something and that's what I go for. And I really haven't even given it much of a chance yet. This is how far I've gotten. So as I like to say, I'm almost done. And I am using yarn that is, oh, what's the name of it? Oh, and I have it in a cone. Oh, it does say Holtzgard. And this is in the color Jupiter. So I do like this a lot. And then it takes a contrasting color for the band at the bottom for some color work. But I haven't picked out my contrast color yet. I clearly am not there yet. So I also signed up for a KAL, which is a knit along, KAL. And I enjoy those too. I think the test knit's just a little bit better because you do a KAL because it like has prizes, incentives, and I mean that's not the only reason you do it, but that's part of a KAL is that there's usually like prizes involved, and I think it's fun to kind of talk to other people. But I have to say this KAL has been very quiet. I haven't heard anything really about it, so I haven't had the best of luck with like chatting with people and learning about things and all of that. But I did buy this yarn from the Knitting Place, who also has a podcast that I do enjoy very much. This is the Inspiration Shawl, Inspiration Wharf Shawl, and the pattern is by, I should tell you that. "44 stitches, and it's Michele Costa, and this is what it will look like. They have it, you can do two different versions, a knitted version or a crochet version. I, of course, as we went over, do not crochet, so I'm doing the knitted version. There's some more options. And this is actually the kit that I got, but instead of this blue, I picked a black. So this is how far I have gotten. And it is on needles, so I think it'll be okay. So this is how it's going to look. It is very pretty. And it's a triangular shawl, so this will go, you know, down. And I have more rows of, you know, each color. I think there's a total of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe I have 3 more. I'm sure there's another stockinette and another garter. And it's just a lot of stitches because you do it over here and you have to stitch, 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 all the way to the end. So it is a lot of garter stitch, or a lot of stitches, but it is really pretty. And I love how this is working up. I'm actually like learning a lot, paying attention, understanding what I'm supposed to be doing. So this section is even neater and nicer than this section. But I have learned some things and I am excited about it. So I have really been enjoying this knit, and I have been picking this up. It's due March 5th, and I think that I could do it, but there's not a lot of incentive to get it done, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But other than the fact that I want to wear it, and I love this bag. This is from the Crafty Toads too. I love this bag. One of my favorites. So I can tell you what yarn I'm using on that. I'm using Asylum Fiber yarn in the colors Vacant Stare, Dockside, and Pink Sky. And then I'm also doing one more test knit, and where are you? Called the Bridget Tunic. And I unfortunately don't even know the name of this yarn because it was gifted to me. And I had it in my stash and it didn't have a band on it. So I'm not sure. It reminds me a little bit of a Malabrigo color, but it's not Malabrigo. It's not as soft as Malabrigo. So I don't even know if it's 100% wool or what it is yet. But this is the Bridget Tunic and it is really cute. I'm doing the smallest size. So it's for a child. This one is the 6 to 12 months, and I don't have anyone for it yet, but I have been knitting a few little baby garments just because I enjoy them, and one day I'll probably need them, hopefully, and if not, I can donate them or whatever, but I really enjoy making them, so that, you know, why not? And I do it in between like larger projects or ones that are a little bit exhausting, then I'll go to something that is more enjoyable for me for a while. And it's easy. I enjoy baby knits because they're one skein, especially if I do the smallest size, which I often do because, like I said, I don't have anyone to give them to. So I'm test knitting the smallest size of this. So it's a little top-down raglan little dress, and this is a little V-neck that it has, which I think is adorable. I'd never done that before. I haven't finished the sleeves, so these are on waist yarn right now. But it has cute little raglan, and then it has this neat little, it's hard to see, maybe you can see it here a little better, a little like bump, and I will insert a picture of this, hopefully I'll remember. If not, I'll hopefully at least remember to put one at the end. But this little bump is called something, and I had never done it before. What in the world? It's called something. The construction of this is very nice too. I have been enjoying that. Pintuck, P-I-N-T-U-C-K, and it creates a little bump, which is just too cute in the fabric. So this is going to be a little dress, like I said. So right now I am starting the little dress, and there are some eyelets that are starting to show. It's just really cute. So it's going to like flare out, not flare out. It's kind of actually, I won't increase the stitches anymore, so it won't flare out. It will just kind of go down. But it is really cute, and I love this yarn. That's a really good picture of how tonal it is and pretty. So, it might even have some cotton in it because it kind of feels a little cottony. I don't exactly know, and it doesn't matter to me because I picked it because it made gauge and because I really like the color. So that is what I am totally lying. I do have the band. I totally forgot that I did. Okay, let me tell you about this yarn. Oh my goodness. I know it was in my stash, and I know that it was a gift yarn, but I did not realize that I had the band. So this is called Indigo Moon, and it looks like it might be called Trish Moon specifically. It's hand-dyed, superwash merino wool, sport weight, 472 meters, 225 grams, and this is in the colorway Indigo. I do remember that now, but it was a big skein of yarn, and so I've caked it up, and it is a, you know, obviously then a huge huge cake of yarn. So I am just using that for this, and then there will be plenty to use for whatever else. So I have been working a little bit on this in between my sweater work when I was wanting to do something else for a little bit. Although, like I said, this sweater in particular jumped off the needles. It was such a super fast knit. I very much enjoyed it. So those are the only things that I'm like actively working on right now. So I have a bunch of things in progress or in queue, and I've done some more acquisitions to put more things in queue. I know. I really am crazy in that way. I love, that's one way that I just treat myself, I guess, is just I purchase new yarn and I get excited over patterns, and I love looking in Ravelry and finding patterns. And if you look in my library, you will see I have a ton of purchased patterns because I just enjoy doing that. So one thing that I purchased was this Maybe It's Time, and I may have shown this in the last podcast, I'm not sure, but it is a kit, and I thought that this might be a fun knit to do because it's just one skein and a mini, and it makes a really pretty shawl. So I thought that would be really pretty, and this is called Maybe It's Time by Lauren Slagle of Lolo Did It. So I'm using her yarn and doing her pattern, and I think that will be a lot of fun. So I'm going to be doing that sometime. I don't know when I'm going to get to all these. I need more hands. Like I said, my birthday is coming up, and my husband asked me what I wanted. I need more hands, if that's not a problem, please, so that I can knit more things. And I don't even have a project bag for this right now, but don't worry, don't you fret. More project bags are on the way, so I went nuts. I'm also going to do this pattern by Kaity Zahner. It is called Decades Wrap. It is a nice and knit pattern, and it takes a skein of DK, a skein of mohair, and a skein of fingering, and you can do this Decades Wrap shawl. Whew, spit it out. And I think that's really pretty, and I love that you can use different types of wool with this to get a really cool effect. And I found this yarn from Barnyard Knits. I've never used their stuff before, but on Instagram, where I get in trouble, they showed this yarn, and it is just beautiful. And this is really bad lighting. Let me move you a little bit. Oh yeah, that's way better. See how pretty this is? And there's just some beautiful coloring in here. There's even some like different colors. Oh, there's some green speckling. It's just in some gray. It's just really pretty. And this one is called, it's by Barnyard Knits, it's called Lighthouse Point. And I got this in the fingering, and I went ahead and got 2 skeins of this. The shawl only takes 1 skein of each, but I wanted another skein so that I could use it for socks or something like that, because I loved this colorway when I saw it. So I'm going to use a skein of that. And then I'm going to use some more Lolo Did It. This is in the worsted weight. This is called Angry Rhino. And it's just a light gray, which I thought would go nicely with this. And then I went a little bit nuts. And from Lolo Did It, I got her mohair. It's 72% kid mohair, 28% silk. And this is the colorway blue tourmaline. I'm probably saying that wrong. So it's like a baby blue, like kind of a baby aqua blue. And I thought that it would be pretty with these. I still think it's really pretty. So I'm excited about this. I think this will make a really pretty shawl. And I like that this is kind of a pop of color. And I love blue. Even though I don't wear a lot of blue, I do love the color blue. I'm very attracted to blue. It's funny because I did notice, and I think I mentioned this before, but it's worth mentioning again, my favorite colors are not colors that I wear a lot of. So I'm trying to be more cognizant of what I'm going to wear. So these grays and these colors are certainly colors that I would wear. I would wear these. I would wear this. But I love that blue color, so a little pop of that might be good to add to my wardrobe, so I can hopefully try to wear that too. So this is going to grow up to be this Decades wrap. Again, no idea when I will get to it, and I'm really hot in this sweater. I'm going to open my window. Oh, didn't realize how hot I was getting. I do like having things in their own project bags, but I don't always get the opportunity to do that. I'm going to put this one in here. I'm going to put it over there with my other yarns, but that's going to be hopefully a sock. And then, speaking of socks, I have a new to me sock company who does self-striping socks, and this is the Desert Vista Dyewear. Oh my goodness. No, Desert Vista Dye Works. So this is their little thing. You can see the stellina in there. Oh my gosh. I'm super excited. And one thing that I love about their website is that when you go there, it shows it knitted up too. So not only do you see it in the hank, you see it knitted up, so you know what you're getting. And I love it. So this is going to be beautifully striped. This is called Positano. I'm not exactly sure if I'm saying that right. And it's handwritten, so it's hard to read. But this is the self-striping Zen Sparkle Sock Weight. 438 yards. It's merino, nylon, and stellina. 72%. I don't know. I can't really read it. It could be 75% and 5% stellina. I don't know, but it is beautiful. I love it. And then this is in the same base, but this is in the color Cinder Zombody. And it is gorgeous too. And of course it has the stellina in it and all of these different colors that just make it beautiful. So I'm kind of excited about doing socks with these. I have not obviously done anything with them, as this is my first time ever talking about them or ever purchasing them. But I am excited. I think that I will really like the self-striping. I can see how that kind of keeps you motivated and keeps you moving along because you want to see what the next stripe is going to be. So that is pretty exciting, and I should throw that over there, but because it's so noisy, I'm just going to leave it here for now. So let's see. I know that I talked about ordering some yarn from Dandelion and Dogwood, who is the little tailoress, who is the first sweater that I finished. The first sweater. Listen to me. I have 2 sweaters finished. Yes, I do. So I left her stuff in her packaging. I don't know why I did. It's not like it needed to be in there, but well, it's probably because I want to protect it. I was so excited about it. And I know that I talked about ordering this in the last podcast because I wanted to do a sweater called the Elton by Joji Locatelli. And so this is what I'm talking about. This is called the Elton. And see how it's like mohair and fingering and mohair. It's like striped. And it's a cardigan, so I'm excited about that. So I did purchase yarn from Dandelion and Dogwood to do this in, and I purchased it in the colorway Anxiety is a Liar. So it is a nice gray, very light gray, something that I will totally wear. And I did the Perfect Sock, which is 80/20 superwash merino and nylon, and this is 375 meters, 100 grams. And then this is their mohair, which is called Feather Down, and it is a 50 gram skein or hank, 72% kid mohair and 28% silk. And these are both in the colorway Anxiety is a Liar. And I think this will just be beautiful. So I am super excited about casting this on. Again, I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to cast it on, but I am excited to do so. So for the Elton, for my size, I purchased 3 of the fingering weight and 2 of the mohair. And I'm going to put those in my new gray fringe bag. Oh. So I'm going to put these in here. I'm not going to get to this yet. I'm not going to cake them up yet because I'm not ready for that, but they will be in here ready for me when I am ready for it. Love this. And then also from Dandelion and Dogwood, oh my gosh, I found this beautiful, beautiful colorway. It's called SSDGM. I don't really know what that stands for. I think it has something to do with a murdering podcast. Wish I could think of what it might be. I don't know. But look at this. It's got beautiful pinks down here. And then grays up here. This is like totally me. Pink and gray. And I bought 2 skeins of this because I'm hoping that this can grow up to be da, 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 the ranunculus for me. I think that it can. It is 69% silk, 22% mohair, and 9% polyamide, which I'm not sure what that is. But oh my gosh, this yarn is fabulous. It's shiny and soft, and it's a little bit like curly, like crinkly. It's just gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. I love it. And I'm silly because I don't remember. The ranunculus has 2 sizes. I may have gotten this for my daughter, which would be fine too. But then I'll be jealous because I want it in my size. So let's see. For me, it takes, and she has it in, I mean, you can do it long sleeve, short sleeve. There's so many different options. So I'm not sure. If I have, when I dig into it, if I have enough for me to do a sweater for myself in this, I will do that. If I do not, then it will be for my daughter, and I will have to buy this colorway again for myself because I love it. Or maybe I'll just, no, okay, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say maybe I'll buy another one and have that colorway for myself, but I will not because I don't want to go more nuts. But it's beautiful yarn. This is the first time I'm using her yarn too, and I'm going to put this ranunculus in this plastic bag with this because that's all I have right now. Right now. Don't you worry your pretty little head. Tammy, more bags are coming, and I'm not kidding. I ordered more bags. Now, I have this bag, which came free when I purchased my Fringe & Company stuff, and I kind of think that I can just put socks in here. So maybe I'll put this Desert Vista dyewear. Oh, it certainly could hold a sock. I'm going to put both of those in here because they are just beautiful with the... So there's that. Okay, I need another drink of coffee, and then I need to show you some other things that I purchased. Or were gifted. So I have a day job in IT. I am an IT director for medical imaging team at a hospital, and I have a manager underneath me, and he has been telling me that he had something for me since Christmas, and it took him a long time to remember to bring it in, but it was worth the wait. Look at this. Oh, it's little animals that are crocheted. Now, bless his heart, he doesn't know that I don't crochet, that I knit, but if this isn't some incentive to learn to crochet, if you guys know my love for hedgehogs, that's where I get the whole hedgehog thing on my logo and all of that. I love hedgehogs, but look at these. There's a lamb. I mean, they're just adorable. So I am super excited about this. Of course, I can't use it yet, but that's okay. I will eventually get to this too. Love it. Then, are you ready for this? So when I was doing this sweater, I at first ordered from a company called Wool & Company this yarn. It's the Malabrigo Mecca, same yarn, only a different colorway. This is in teal feather. And I thought, okay, I'm going to get this. I'm going to do this sweater in this color, which would be absolutely lovely. But it was taking a long time for this to be ordered. Now, in their defense, they did email me. They had to email me twice to find out if I wanted, if I was okay. I purchased 9 of these because I wasn't sure. I know that her pattern said 8, but because I was testing it and I was unsure as to how many I would need, her pattern was spot on. Trust the pattern. But I thought, okay, I know that sometimes the yardage is wrong on patterns. From what I've heard, it's usually over. So I didn't want to get crazy. But then I thought, well, if I got 9 and I had an extra, I would just figure out something to do with the extra one. So I did. I purchased 9 of them. But when they were emailing me, they were saying that 8 of them were from the same lot and the 9th one would be from a different lot. And they were trying to figure out if that was okay with me. And I didn't respond because I didn't see it at first. And then when I did respond, it took them a little bit, or it took me a little bit to respond. So then they had to still ship it and, you know, all of that. Well, me being impatient, last Friday I went to the store and I purchased this yarn, and I actually purchased 10 skeins of this, and I'll show you some more here in just a minute. But then this came, so I have my 9 skeins of this, which I love. So I purchased a pattern called Wave of Change Jacket from Baron Handmade. And Denise Barron is the beautiful designer and model for this. This is her, from what I know. I'm not sure who this is, but she's just as pretty. I mean, they're just beautiful women, and they're modeling this gorgeous sweater. And I'm thinking, so I'm either going to do this sweater in that teal feather color or this green. You can tell I'm like wanting some green in my life for whatever reason. And this is Alaska from Drops. I ordered this from the Wool Warehouse, which I love. And it is 100% wool. It doesn't tell me what colorway it is. It's color number 45. I don't know, but it is like an Aran weight, and it is beautiful. So I could either do this jacket in this color or in this color. So I'm not exactly sure yet which one I'm going to do. I'm kind of leaning toward the teal feather for this one, just because I really like this, and I think that I don't know. So I'm going to be doing that. And I think I'm just going to put this with the teal feather, I think that that's the one I'm going to pick for that, because I think that this one looks a little bit more like the Alaska. So then I also found this one. It's called what is it called? Peated Whiskey by Baby Cocktails. Oh my gosh, I have never found her before. I've never seen her before, but this was on Ravelry, like as one of the, you know, top 20 or whatever, and I was looking at it and I was like, holy cow. And then I went and looked at her patterns. First off, she has them all named after different cocktails, which I think is cute. And then they're all fabulous. One after the other, I was adding them to my cart. I loved them. So I'm really excited about knitting this one too. And I think that that would be really pretty with this like army green color. So I think that that's what I'm going to do with this one. So I think I just decided. So then what else do I have? I have another purchase here. This is called Autumn and Indigo. This was I don't even know where I found them, but I saw this cowl. I thought it was so pretty. And I even like that color, even though that is not a color that I would normally choose. But it just takes a skein of each. So, and actually this isn't the color that I chose. Okay, well, it's not a color that I would normally choose, and it's not the color I chose. So good for me. No, but I do like this color a lot, and I would wear that color, I believe. But I picked this one, which is the colorway Winter Bloom, and then it's paired with the colorway Dutch, and it is a 100% superwash merino wool 4-ply, and it's a fingering weight mixed with a mohair, which is 72% kid mohair, 28% silk, and together you hold those to make this. So this is going to be that. And this is called the, oh, good grief, Apparist cowl. I'm not really sure. If you go to Autumn and Indigo, they have this as a free pattern, and on Ravelry you can download it for a free pattern. And I think it's beautiful, and I'm kind of excited about this. And this was a kit that they had already picked out and ready, which I love myself some kits, so I got that. Then they had some yarn on sale, and I don't really know why, but this was on sale, and it is 100% baby alpaca, 123 yards, 50 grams in the colorway dark gray. And they had 4 of them. So I bought all 4, and it is super squishy and soft. I don't even know, because it's alpaca, I mean, I guess you just use it as regular yarn. But this, I think, would be a beautiful baby garment, or, and it's black, which I love. Well, dark gray, but it is almost black. It is so, so squishy and pretty. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to use this for, but I just thought I'd had to have it in my life. So I got that as well. So this needs a project bag. And oh, my lazy Sunday state of mind. Here is the for this. Love it. Okay, so I purchased, like I said, 10 skeins of this Malabrigo Polar Morn, and it is just beautiful. So I have 2 of these skeins left, and I think what I'm going to try to do is this Frogginette boy sweater from Lisa Shemery, and I just think it is an adorable pattern. So this would be a baby sweater again, but I think it is so pretty. And that is what I think I'm going to use. And I have 2 of these. So because I don't have a baby for it, I kind of figured, and it calls for DK weight, and this is obviously bigger than that. So I thought if I did the smallest size with this, I would end up with a sweater that would fit a baby. Maybe not as small, obviously not as small as the 3-month, but maybe it would be like a 12-month sweater or something. I don't know. But I thought I would do that because I really like both the yarn and the pattern. And then one last thing that I purchased, which I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be yet, but I'm kind of leaning toward this Inez Ballerin by Anne Rigord. I'm pronouncing all of that incorrectly. but it's kind of like, it gives me the feel of the ranunculus. But I like how she has it in a, like a variegated yarn. And you guys probably, well, you might not know, but I love Expression Fiber Arts. I love everything about them. And that's how I learned to knit, from Expression Fiber Arts on YouTube. Her name is Shandy, and she is super cute. And they dye wool. This was like the first real wool that I had purchased. And she had a new colorway. And this is called Meadow. It is in the Sincere Sock. It's 400 meters, 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And I don't know if you can see all those colors, but I think that you can. It reminds me of a pansy. Like, it's purple and green and blue, and purple and blue together just knock my socks off. I don't know exactly why or what it is about those colors, but I have always been attracted to purple and blue. So when I saw this, and this colorway, and it has some green in there, I don't know, Meadow is a perfect name for it, because it's like a meadow of beautiful flowers, purple flowers. It has blue and purple and green and a little bit of pink spotted in there. It is just gorgeous. So I may use this for that sweater. It's almost too pretty, I think, to do for socks, but I could maybe be talked into doing it for socks. I don't know yet. So she just has beautiful yarn. I highly recommend Expression Fiber Arts. I think this is the second thing that I have in my queue from her yarn. So I'm not sure yet if it's going to grow up to this, but it might. And that, my friends, I think is everything. Whew, I feel like I've been talking a lot. My throat is even kind of starting to hurt. But I enjoy this very much. I hope that you guys like it too. I am super excited about my sweaters. I cannot believe that I am a sweater maker. And I love this this environment, this world of knitting, and all of you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of it, and thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your world. I appreciate you very much, and I am super excited to be here. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I read everyone, and if I don't have a response, I will at least put a heart to let you know that I've read it, or a thumbs up or whatever, but usually I try to use the heart because I think it's cute. And I guess that's that. It is probably close to 8 now, and I need to get to knitting. So I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy today. Happy knitting.